guys, I am Chris Kaler.
And I'm Amber from Kajin Cosplay, and tonight we are watching with you guys Vikings!
Season 2.
Episode 4.
Eye for an eye.
What happened last episode?
Last episode we got to see our boys' first fights against King Egbert.
Yep.
Egbert's men. They attacked a village. They found a lot of treasure. Floki was pretty annoyed at the priest's actions, and he tried to make fun of his religion once again by torturing the high priest. I believe he was a high priest. Anyway, he was a priest, and yeah, the bishop. I don't know. This dude
was a bishop,
and Athelstan couldn't take more of it, and he kind of gave him a mercy killing, but. Which in my mind is the right thing to do, because torturing someone just because he believes in something other than your religion is bullshit. But Floki is annoyed and really kind of distrustful of Athelstan right now, so he's making fun of him once again, and he's telling him that he doesn't trust him, so...
And the other Earl went and took and rampaged Ragnar's lands.
Rollo kind of stood his ground for a little bit, but...
Yeah, Kattegat fall.
What?
Kattegat fall, yeah. Has fallen.
Oh, yeah. So, yeah, Rollo had to flee with a couple of the small folk, and he's got also Ragnar's wife and his 3 kids, because the baby has been born.
Yay!
So, with a very lizardy eye.
Sigurd.
Sigurd, exactly. Like his grandfather, or his grandpa, sorry. So, I don't know. And we saw Bjorn in Lagertha.
Yep.
The highlight.
That kind of husband of hers.
That hits her, so. Alright, so this is where we are now in Vikings. Let's jump in episode 4, see what happens.
Alright.
Let's go.
They expressed the desire to talk.
Careful.
So first, we should talk. How are we to trust men like these, who kill without conscience, who desecrate and pollute sacred places?
No, we cannot trust them. Therefore, there will be an exchange of hostages before we begin.
And who are we to deliver into their tender care?
Yeah.
My son.
What?
Father?
A hostage of the highest value is the safest hostage.
Oh,
Who do you think it's gonna be?
heathens, they do not put value on any life.
Athelstan?
I doubt that. But we are
Ragnar is, or that'd be the
No, but he would be a great choice for the
son
others.
of the king, maybe?
We cared nothing for.
Or you think the king could send his other son, that's what you said?
Yeah.
He's really young though.
Equal value?
Yeah, they don't know he's his son. God, that horse is sassy.
No.
He's sending himself.
Ragnar.
Well, it's true, he's not the king, he's an earl, so even though his presence in the camp means a lot to us, that would be a great exchange. And he's the one that can speak to the king, and he's in the midst of it all. He's not gonna fuck it up unless they kill the son. Unless they kill the son.
Yeah, but Ragnar is alone with so many English people.
Yeah, but he's good at talking to them.
If they mess it up with the king's son, they're gonna kill him, so I think they're gonna stay put.
You may leave us.
And you were right, in the bath!
All of you.
Totally fell in love with him. Is that normal? What's gonna happen? Join me!
Will you not join me, Ragnar?
Um...
Water is very temperate.
It's not custom for him, but... And I mean, he's taking off his armor in the presence of an enemy, so...
Yeah.
I think that just goes to show that the other is really comfortable, and he trusts that he's protected here, because he's also meeting Ragnar in this bath.
Now we are equal. We can talk together honestly. After the sack of the minster at Winchester, you surely have enough treasure.
I don't care about treasure. I want to see your lands, and I want to see how you farm them. You see, I am really a farmer.
Are you saying that if I offer you some land, we could make a deal?
Look at his eyes. Some land.
It's possible.
We understand each other. Best friends.
But I would want something in return. You see, Ragnar Lothbrok, I am an ambitious man. I have great plans. And you and your warriors could help me to fulfill them.
Oh.
Fight for him, you think?
Does he wanna expand? Just gain other kingdoms?
What else does this King of Wessex have to say?
I bring grave news for Ragnar Lothbrok.
You learned about what happened home.
Your lands are lost, invaded by Jarl Borg. Your family has fled, only the gods know where. Now Jarl Borg lives in your great hall and rules in your place.
Ah, shit. Second time in 2 seasons. Damn it!
You're leaving? Of course I am. I must find my family. Are you not coming?
I'm minded to stay here, Ragnar, to speak with this King Egbert further. I think he is afraid of us and will make some deal to our advantage.
You can't even speak that language. How will you communicate?
If you will permit this man, Athelstan, to remain with me, he can do the talking.
If I can be of help to King Horig, then I am happy to stay.
I'm surprised to hear you say that. For you know my family better than anyone.
You've always said how important these contacts are for the future and prosperity of all your people. So is it not more important for me to remain here?
Are you sure you want to do this?
Oh. No? Yeah? No? Yeah?
He feels a bit betrayed.
Yep.
Then so be it.
Family first with Ragnar. Family first.
Prepare the ships!
Yeah. But it's also a way for him to be more accepted by the others? No?
He cares for him. He's almost like a brother. Squirrel filthy to him and stuff.
Jarl Borg has invaded his lands while Ragnar has been away. He killed all who resisted. Rollo, Princess Auslag. Siggy, Princess Auslag's children, they've all fled Connecticut. Ragnar will come back. He will come back to fight for his lands, and we must help him.
Not as father.
But you still
It's not Sigvald's quarrel. Why should he fight to restore Ragnar's lands?
You could ask him.
That could seem like betrayal for our own husband.
Well, if he sees some advantage for him, maybe he's gonna help. He's been mocking Ragnar a lot, so maybe...
The mighty Ragnar come to my door and ask for help.
Well, I mean, technically it's his ex-wife, but... The more it goes, the more I think the son is gonna just flee and help him anyway. Oh, that was powerful.
Oh shit, oh shit, oh shit.
That's so much for peace talk. He's gonna be the only one. Oh! Oh shit.
Northland! Wignarian duerta!
Ne quellas me! Ich bugo! It's yum sway yo!
He's gotta play it safe. Survival sometimes means lying your way in.
Siggy's there.
Yeah.
They're inside.
Right.
Father!
Little man.
Father!
Hello, son. I miss you.
And your baby.
His name is Sigurd Snake in the Eye.
Oh. Sigurd Snake in the Eye. Can you have a more accurate name?
I warned you, my love. You question my prophecy, but here's proof of it. In your child's eyes, the serpent my father killed.
It is not a curse. It is a blessing.
I sure hope so.
The gods have marked out your brother. You will do great.
In my head, he's still sneaky little shit. I could never imagine Ragnar hating one of his children or being disappointed in them.
Essex, England.
Oh shit. Oh shit. Oh. Or maybe saying you were part of them is not a good idea. But the priest in the last episode did say they were gonna crucify him and stuff if he was caught. Oh, buddy. Well, you should have gone back.
No!
Oh, baby. He too saw prophecy when he read the Bible. He saw the, yeah. For someone who's forsaken their religion and lived with the enemy. Oh. Oh, please, someone save him.
Here is your destiny, apostate. You are being crucified in the name of our Savior, Jesus Christ.
Oh my god, he looks like Jesus.
Wait! Cut him down.
Did you see when I was saying that Christians also killed people that did not believe in their
I
religion?
never said that it wasn't true.
No, I know, but I mean, we were getting an example right here. Oh my fucking god. Head of blonde hair with an handsome man by her side. I think I know who this is. I think this is Lagertha and Bjorn.
You think?
I mean, the head of blonde, I mean, no? There's two of them in the front. He's not calling for people to fight or anything. I think this is his ex-wife and his son.
Her husband agreed?
Maybe not. Yeah. Oh!
It has been a long time.
Hello, Ragnar. I heard of your troubles. I brought these warriors to help you.
Yeah, your son is...
I'm your son.
Oh, all grown up.
Father.
With the same shitty haircut.
I always knew in my heart that I would see you again.
My heart is
I
bursting.
never guessed that it would be in such circumstances.
He's so proud of him. Look how you're big.
I do not need to ask if you have been fed well. You have grown so tall.
He's almost told. He's told his
When
dad.
this is over, we shall have many stories to tell. It seems your mother and I have produced a son that is both strong and wise.
And if my sister had lived, she would have been the same.
Yes. And you're right to carry her memory. As do I.
Could have been a beautiful young
For a long
lady.
time, Father, I feel I've carried nothing else but memories. But now, here in this place, with you and with my mother, I feel reborn.
He's always wished for this.
Oh, your son has grown into a beautiful man.
Can't help but think that Lagertha might feel a bit sad that she forced them apart. Well, she didn't force them apart, but that she left with Bjorn when he was a kid. He seems to have missed him a lot.
He would have missed his mom just as much.
I know. So don't take it personal. Ah, no, I wanted to see much more of this. He's gonna meet his brothers. He's gonna see everyone again.
He's like almost 18, they said?
Yeah, something like that.
He's like 14 years older than his little brothers. It's such a... Well, not
And
that
I mean, it's a brother from another mother. It's also, his brothers are also the reason why his parents are not together anymore, sort of. So I don't know how he's gonna take this, but I sure hope he kind of got the family man persona from his dad, and he's gonna be happy with his brothers.
You're still my brothers, even though we don't share the same mother.
Something like that. They're still his brothers. I mean, he lost his sister, so maybe he's gonna... I sure hope he cares for them because they're really young right now.
That she was able to gather all those men to fight for Ragnar.
We don't know. We didn't see what happened. So maybe he gave his consent.
I'd be surprised though if he gave his consent for that.
That's the thing. We didn't see what went on. Last time we saw them, she was forcing him to respect her. And he was saying, I don't want to talk about Ragnar, but maybe she forced him a little more, and he ended up saying, I'm not going to help him out, but if you want to help him, just go. And the people that were loyal to her and her son, the people that supported them, came with them. But I think that if they have that many men, it would mean that at least he gave his consent to them going. So I don't think they fled, but I wouldn't put it against them, though, to flee either. So... both scenarios could work. Sure hope that it's not the last scenario. Like, if they fled, that's gonna bring much more problems, so...
I don't know. I just hope she's gonna be okay after that.
But it's so cool to see them again together! You know that Bjorn has been waiting for this since he left. It's almost
I don't think that he ever went to a raid in his life, you think?
I don't know. I think he's barely 18 now, so... and then his stepfather doesn't even want him to go live in the mountains alone. Like, he wants to shelter him and take care of him. So he doesn't want him to become the sort of... I think, maybe he's afraid that Bjorn is going to overthrow him if he lets him go too much. If he lets him become too strong. Like, because he's the son of Ragnar. Maybe he's afraid of what he could do if he was strong enough. So that's why he shelters him a lot.
Maybe.
That's possible.
Maybe.
Still, to see him just so happy, and Ragnar, you just know, like, he's so fucking proud of his son already. Like, just seeing how big he got and how strong he looks.
I think I saw him bumping a bit in the background, like, my son is
as
back.
soon as he recognized, at least as soon as you recognized Lagertha from afar, you saw the little smile on his face. You knew who was coming. And Lagertha, she was smiling from the side, looking at their reunion, because... I think she knows that Bjorn has been wanting this for a while, and she's happy to see her son happy again. Because, back with his stepdad, I don't think he was happy. People keep belittling him, and it's not a good environment. So, to see him so happy, that makes her really glad that she came. But then you see her like that smile and be just like, she's forgotten. She's left to the side. I think she's afraid that Bjorn is not going to come back. That he might stay with his dad. That was a tough decision back then. And now, after 4 years without his dad, he keeps thinking about Ragnar, and he's like, I miss him, and it's okay, it's totally okay. And now to see him so happy to be reunited...
He could stay with him for a few years too, just like he did with his mom.
Yeah, but...
she wouldn't... gonna need to cope with it if he does it.
What I really love, though, about Lagertha is that she's not pushing the issue. I think she's totally okay with Bjorn making the decision for himself. She wants him to be strong and to make his own decisions, which has always been the case in Ragnar's family. I feel like they want their kids to be strong, and they want them to become their own person. So they're not sheltering them. They're teaching them how it's done, which is one thing that Aslog doesn't really want to do. She wants to shelter her kids from everything. She wants them to be pampered little prince. She doesn't even want them to see how you gut a cow or something. So it's too soft a life.
Those type of thing during that time could save your life if you know how to kill your food and prepare it before eating. Use the skin to create clothes.
Yep.
All that stuff,
especially where you live right now,
could be useful.
Because in Scandinavia, they keep saying that the land is not formable. It's not a good place to grow food. So any scenario, especially since they are the Earl's kids, you never know what's going to happen in the future. Like right now, they've been attacked. Now they have to survive. If they were alone, if no one had survived but them, they would have been dead. It's like she doesn't know how to survive on her own. So the kids need to learn that as well if they want to be as strong as their dad, and if they want to survive one day as individuals. Because if they become Earl after Ragnar, or if they want to have a family of their own and they get attacked, Ragnar, when he was attacked the first time with Lagertha and her kids, he was not an Earl. He was just, he was following an Earl that just hated the guy for his ambition, and he attacked his land, and he ended up being alone, and he had to know how to survive. He had to be cunning, and he had to be strong for his family. If the kids are sheltered their entire lives and something like that happens, they're gonna die.
Like their mother.
What?
They'll become like their mother.
They'll become
like, yeah.
Like Aslog, yeah. You see, like, there's a huge difference between how Bjorn ended up being and how I fear the others are going to end up being if Aslog keeps, not teaching them anything. Being a pimper little prince that is not going to do anything good for them in the future. Although I'm still looking out for that sneaky little shit.
They're going to throw tantrums and be snobbish.
Maybe.
Like that.
I'm afraid they're going to become snobbish. Although now that Bjorn is there, maybe he can take care of his brothers a little bit. I sure hope it goes well, because it could go both ways. It could go, they're my brothers, even though we don't have the same mother. I still care for them. I'm going to teach them stuff. I'm their older brother. I'm going to take care of them. Or we don't have the same mother, and you are basically the reason why I grew up without my father, so I'm not going to acknowledge you. Which could cause problems.
Maybe, yeah, maybe not.
And right now we're not even talking about legacy or anything. Like I sure hope it doesn't come to that. But there's a son. One of his son has the snake eyes. So in my mind, it means that there's going to be stuff happening to this kid in the future, or because of this kid. And usually a snake is not a good animal to become. It's not a good animal to take after.
What if you can trust?
Yeah, that's the thing. So I'm afraid he might become an actual sneaky little shit. That's just a nice nickname for now, but I don't live up to that nickname.
Why did you name him like that, Mom? Oh, because I knew that someday you're gonna be a little shit. That's why.
She called him. She called him Eye of the Serpent. Right? That's part of his name?
That may be some type of name.
Like, I think, some of you guys told me that Lothbrok, the last name of Ragnar, is not an actual last name, because they didn't have last names. They had only surnames and nicknames.
Technically, their surnames for that is there's dad and son. Like Odin's son for Thor and the
son
mythology,
of Odin.
that will be Bjorn, Ragnar's son, Uba Ragnar's son.
Yeah.
And Gyda will be Gyda, Ragnar's daughter.
Yeah. Oh my god, it's cool. It wasn't hard back in those days, right? You were a farmer.
Well, you knew who your father was.
Well, that's one thing we can do. That's one thing we can all do with our last names, actually. We can go back to the very first days, our very first ancestors, if we can do that. And usually our last names are going to come from in our case, it's probably the career they had, the job they were doing. Like, if you were a farmer, their last name was something related to being a farmer, and with time, the last name turned into an actual last name. So right now, it doesn't sound like farmer, but if you go back in time, you're gonna see, that's because he was a farmer.
Yeah.
So in our case, Pivin, French, sorry. But I always had no idea. For jokes, I was saying, oh, because our ancestors made wine, probably.
Or they were maybe
alcoholics. But I've always been very curious about what our actual last name meant. So that's one thing we could look up. But in their case, it sounds a lot rougher. It's a lot better. So I like it.
Oh my gosh. What about Athelstan being crucified?
His whole journey is an incredible one. It's so well done, so well portrayed. Just him first, being snatched from his home and having to learn how to live amongst people that are so different from what he's used to. And then actually liking them and starting to believe in their religion, because your religion is not giving you any answers in this time of need. Yeah. And so he kind of wishes he was a part of their group, but then he also has his ties. You can change your allegiance to someone. You can try to change your beliefs. You can usually not change who you are at the core. It's not about who you believe in or what you believe in. He's a pacifist at heart. He doesn't hate. I mean, he doesn't walk away from violence when he needs to defend himself. We've seen it. But he doesn't like torture. He doesn't appreciate seeing the people rape the prisoners. He's not for that. But he's not saying anything because he still wants to be acknowledged and accepted in this new group. So it's so heartbreaking yet very interesting to see him go through that. Because we don't support that either. We're on Athelstan's side a lot here. Like, we don't support the rape, we don't support the torture, but we support the characters that do that. We like Floki and Ragnar. We haven't seen him do that, but we support his group, Yeah. So we're kind of in the same mindset as Athelstan. So I think it's really nice that I've been told that Athelstan is a fictional character. Most of these characters are actual people that existed before, but Athelstan is an addition. So I'm actually happy they did that, because we can relate to him a lot. And through his eyes, we discover this. And although we don't really like everything they do, we can understand why it was done, because it's war. The men need to be happy. They need to be fed. They need to get entertained sometimes, and they need to succeed. They can't be killed. It's kill or be killed in these times. So a lot of the stuff they do, we can understand, but we don't agree with. So I really love this. I really love how they're doing this. And for him to be crucified every day is him denying his religion. It's him denying what he used to be. And he saw it, like him not doing anything when the women were raped. And he looks at his book and he sees God bleeding, and he acts like he's got Jesus, sorry. And he sees the blood, and it's like he's got the blood on his hands, and it's almost like by doing nothing, it's like he's got the blood of the innocent on his hands. It's almost like it's his fault. So he hates that. He blames himself, and
he's like a witness during the crucifixion.
Yeah, exactly. There's actually a movie about that.
Yep.
Weird.
People witnessed the Christ crucifixion and did nothing, just watch.
Yep.
I think they got blind after that, but
they feel really bad about this. I mean, not doing anything sometimes.
At least he got saved by King Egbert.
That guy has an agenda.
Of course he does. Of course he does.
Another thing. Like I was saying, sometimes you need to lie your way in order to survive. Like Athelstan was about to be killed, and he was saying, "I'm a part of you. I used to be just like you." It ended up being his downfall. Like they crucified him because he denied his religion. He kind of forsake his religion. So not a good thing in this case, but seeing the discussion between Ragnar and Egbert, we're like, are they truly talking about peace? Like, I know Ragnar really wants this, but there's something he wants more than this, his family's safety. So
when he learned what he did to his priest, he's gonna be mad. You hurt my priest, how dare you?
Yeah, like so much about peace talk, but Egbert, I don't know exactly. He's a sneaky little shit too. Like, I don't know what he wants, because he's playing the game really well. Just accepting Ragnar in his bath too.
Game of Thrones.
Yeah, but I mean, it was an interesting move to just accept to see Ragnar in his bath at his most vulnerable state. He's this is not something that's normal, and Ragnar was really weirded out by this. But he's basically saying, right now, I don't have any weapons, I don't have armor on, just join me in my bath, just be vulnerable and we'll talk. It's interesting because it's almost like saying, I have nothing to hide, so I'll be truthful with you. And it also says, I don't fear you in the slightest right now. So Ragnar had to be that vulnerable too in order to...
Let's talk, Ragnar. Join me in my bath. I don't fear you. You and your snake. Come join me in my bath.
Something like that. But it was interesting. But then they kind of talked about negotiations and just making a deal, which could be interesting, but we never heard what he actually wanted.
What he has for them,
Yeah. He says he's ambitious. He says he's ambitious and he needs the warriors, so I'm thinking maybe he wants to expand, fight the other kings.
Athelstan just said that there were many kingdoms in the same country and they were kind of living at peace together, he said.
Yeah.
I wasn't surprised though that, like we said, they used the warrior side of the Vikings to destroy.
I mean, no one has been able to stop them. No one has been able to stop them yet. Not yet. So.
What about Floki and Helga? Her asking for a child.
I just want to see more of that. I want to see more about Floki. So far, he's the funny guy on the side that makes crazy stuff, and then he's also the one that doesn't trust Athelstan and kind of forces him to witness them mock his religion. So
maybe he recognizes that he's a bit crazy and he doesn't want to give that to his own child. I don't know.
Let's think about it. I mean, he lives alone in a house that's really far away from the rest of the village. Not many people know how to go to his house. He doesn't have many close friends. He's a recluse. Like he's a wanderer, kind of. It's almost like he spends his entire life looking for a sign from the gods and just following their guidance, even though he never really received it. Because I don't think he ever got a sign from the gods, ever. But he trusts them, he believes in them. But he's always, alone with his wife and the gods. But he doesn't have many people around him. He's got Ragnar, and that's pretty much it. So maybe that's why he doesn't want a kid that might end up being like him. So different from the others that he cannot really be among them, be at peace among them. So, I don't know. Like I said, I want to find out more about why he said that, how he thinks of himself. It's kind of sad, though, to hear him say that. So, but I'm excited more about Bjorn meeting his brothers and just Lagertha and Ragnar talking. And
well, we see in the next episode what's going to happen with that.
Yeah, probably. Like, we're going to start right off there, I think. I sure hope so. So, yeah, we're going to move on because I really want to see. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode with us. If you want to see the next one right away, it's already on Patreon. The link is in the description.
So you know the drill. If you want to watch it now, you go click and you subscribe, or you will the next one to go out on YouTube, guys.
Yes.
Which will be soon.
Very soon. Yeah.
Alright.
Bye.
Bye.